What's up guys, it's Jamie. Welcome back to the channel. A few weeks ago, I did a video where I took a look at the micro scratches that were occurring on my silver iPhone 12 Pro. Granted, I do think that there aren't a ton of scratches that have occurred. I think considering it is polished stainless steel, because I do have the silver color, and that any minor scratch would show up and be very abundant and very clear. I don't think that scratches are drastic. They really don't bother me all that much. But I was curious to see if there is a way that you can, address these scratches very easily for yourself. And so what I ended up doing is I went to a local hardware store and I talked to an individual that was there, and they mentioned that I could pick up like a polishing cloth and I should be able to buff those scratches out very easily myself. So I figured I'd give it a try and try it out on today's video. When you're watching today's video, if you could support the channel by giving the video a quick like. Also, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe. I come up with videos like this on a weekly basis, so you don't want to miss out. So as I mentioned, I went to the local hardware store and they pointed me to this metal polishing cloth by Cape Cod. So this contains the actual tarnish or liquid or solution to help with the polishing. And then there's two cloths in here as well. And this pouch is fully resealable. So you can use it, I'm assuming, until the solution or the cloth kind of wears out and then you have to go replace it. This was only $6.95. So it is very inexpensive. I don't have tremendous high hopes that this would actually work because it just seems too easy and too good to be true to have a fix for $7 to remove the scratches on your phone. Before we get started, just one disclaimer. This is just for the silver iPhone 12 Pro. All of the other iPhone 12 Pros have colored stainless steel. The silver is the only one that is just raw, polished stainless steel. I believe if you were to do this on the color stainless steel, then it would actually just remove that color. That's what my assumption would be. So only do this on your silver iPhone 12 Pros. Actually, hold off. Wait till I do this, see if I mess it up, and then if I don't mess it up and it doesn't mess up your phone, then do it on your silver iPhone 12 Pros. Okay, so in the package, there's two cloths. You can use this, you can clean and polish silver, gold, pewter, brass, copper, bronze, nickel, aluminum, and stainless steel. This is reusable, so there's two cloths in here. After you use one, you put it back in here. But yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. You just take this, take the cloth, rub it on the area that you want to remove the scratches, and then you just dry it off with a dry cloth or paper towel. And then just for a quick reference, when I take a look at my phone and I look at the scratches that are on it, I mean, the scratches, they've gotten worse since the last time I did a video. They're not super noticeable. I think once you put them in the light correctly, they do get a little bit more noticeable. The biggest problem area I'm finding is on the bottom around the charging point. That's where I'm getting a lot of the scratches. But overall, it's not terrible and it doesn't bother me, but I do think it would be interesting if you can just every so often pull out a cloth and just remove all the scratches and make this thing look brand new. Interesting smell. It kind of smells like Play-Doh. Wow. Okay. That just made it infinitely better. So I'm just taking this and gently rubbing it along each of these areas. So when you put it, it leaves like a little bit of like a film on it, it looks like. So I'm starting with the bottom just because it's the biggest problem area on my phone. Just gently going back and forth. I mean, I'm not really doing anything special here. I just switched to a paper towel because it didn't seem like this towel that I had was really super absorbent. So I switched to a paper towel just to see if that works a little bit better. One thing, they do say to wear gloves. I understand why now, because there is liquid on this cloth and it gets all over your hands. But when I switch to the paper towel, it really does a good job. Like the cloth that I was using before, I think because it's not super absorbent, it just seemed to be like pushing the liquid around as opposed to like polishing through it. When I'm doing this side here, it is really just polishing it up really, really nicely. I don't know how well you can see this in the camera, but what I will say is that looking at the bottom, it has cleaned it up a lot. It's just not 100% back to new. There are some very tiny micro scratches that still exist, and maybe I'll be able to buff them out a little bit better, but this is impressive. I was a little nervous when I was using the cloth because it seemed like the cloth was adding scratches when I was trying to dry it off, but upon like switching over to the paper towel, I think that it was just taking the liquid and pushing it around the phone, so it made it look like it was scratches, but it was just the liquid from the polishing cloth, and it just wasn't removed. But when you fully buff this out, it looks really, really, really good. So I'm just going to continue working around the phone. This looks amazing. This is what I'm noticing is that there's a lot more liquid that's on here, in this liquid that's used. It really kind of stays around there for a while. So even if you just do like a couple of passes with the polishing cloth, like I'm going over this a bunch with the paper towel to actually get all of the tarnish or the polishing liquid to be removed. I think that realistically you should probably be using some sort of like buffing tool in order to work the liquid through it, but I have paper towel. And granted, I've never done this before, so I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but this thing looks freaking pristine. It looks brand new on the sides. For $6. Wow. So I just finished fully polishing every side of this phone and wiping the polish off, and I am super impressed. I will say that it's not 100%. There are some very minor micro scratches on the bottom that I wasn't able to polish off, and maybe if I went back at it again, put a little bit more time into it, I'd be able to get those to be removed completely. But this thing is pristine. To the naked eye, it would look like a brand new phone. For $6.95, that's a huge, huge win. That's one big benefit about looking at the silver versus the other colors for the 12 Pro, is that you can polish off the sides and make your phone look brand new. Granted, I think that with the silver, it does show the scratches more, so it kind of is a catch-22, but it is awesome to have that option. So once again, the manufacturer that I used, it's called Cape Cod. They do have a website, so you can just put in your zip code, and they have a store locator, and any hardware store or general store that does stock their product will show up. So I think for a cheap, easy fix, a cloth and the polishing cloth plus a paper towel, that is an awesome, awesome option. That's all I have for you today, guys. If you do have any other tips or tricks or suggestions of ways to remove the micro scratches, I'd love to hear about them, so please comment below. Also, if there's anything in that process that I was doing wrong or any suggestions that you do have, please let me know as well. I'm super happy that this fix worked. I mean, it's super cheap and easy. So to really refresh your phone every so often, I think it's a great option. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.